Hello everyone, we are going to see how we want to time our cash flows, right, so that we don't face a negative cash flow situation. We have seen in our previous video what are the components of a cash flow. Like there are some inflows and then there are some outflows, and then we saw how we need to tabulate them. Now after having tabulated, you will see that there are some days of the month where there is a negative cash balance in your account. Means your outflows are more than your inflows, or your balance is not sufficient to meet that day's outflow. Now let us break this down further into individual components. Like say for example, your customer normally pays you every 15th day after the sale. Say you make sale on the 1st, you receive money on the 15th. We need to see how this 15th can be preponed. Either you check with your customer if he is willing to revise the terms, that is one way, but that is definitely not simple, I can understand. So what are the other ways? Look at discounting your invoices with the bank. There are a lot of banks who offer factoring facilities, discounting facilities. So you get 95% of your invoice value on the very same day, and then when the customer makes payment to your account, this invoice gets this factoring gets settled off and you have your money. So if we can do this and prepone the inflow by say 5 or 6 days, it allows us to have some balance in hand if there is a shortfall to be met. So this is one way of doing it. The other way is, whatever payments you have, see if you can get a little more credit period from your vendor. Like say suppose your vendor asks for money every 10th day, see if it can go to 15 days. So now what have you done? You have changed your receipts preponed your receipts from 15th to 10th. So 5 days you have got. You have postponed your payments from 10th to 15th. So another 5 days you have got. So you have a total time span of 10 days to manage your shortfall, if any. With this you will not have a shortfall in the first place, but still if some emergency payment comes or some sudden cash requirement comes, you need to buy material urgently, then you will be able to meet this. So there are mechanisms of improving the timings of your cash flow, and there are various mechanisms. This is just one example of what I told you, which is factoring. For example, there are some corporates, if you are selling to large corporates, they themselves give you advance payment with a little interest, just like banks give you loans. This is not exactly a loan, but you can borrow from them, like they will prepay you. Instead of paying on the 30th, they will pay you on the 10th itself, and for 20 days they will charge you a small 3 or 4% per annum interest. Now if that is easy for you or that is not expensive for you, you should go in for this option, because this will help you to have sufficient balance in hand at any point in time so that you meet your business requirements timely. Because what happens is, you don't pay a vendor on time. It is not just that you will not get the material on time. It is like you are losing a lot of face with the vendor. Your credibility becomes questionable sometimes. So in order to avoid these things, the timing, changing or controlling the timing of the cash flow is the most important thing, and there are various ways of doing this. As we discussed factoring, we discussed borrowing from the customer itself. Similarly, vendors also do extend credit with a certain little rate of interest, and that is what is going to take you a long way. If you are able to work out with your vendor an arrangement where up to 30 days there is a free credit period, and another 15 days or 20 days he is willing to lend you at 2% or 3% per annum, they do that. But it's the only thing is that we don't go out and explore, we don't go out and negotiate with our vendors like that. So it is important that on both sides, on the inflow side as well as on the outflow side, you learn to either control the timings or to adjust the timings in such a manner that you have a positive cash balance every day of the month. So with this, what do we recall? that first what is important is to plot down the elements of your cash flow. Until you plot down the elements, we will not be able to adjust their timings. And 2, adjusting timings both on the inflow as well as the outflow will help you to have a positive cash balance at any given time. If you like this video, do like and subscribe our channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon.